Welcome to the STAC orientation session regarding the corporation policy addressing transparency in grant application reviews, brought to you by the Office of Grants Policy and Operations. This policy has been created to align with open government. This orientation will give you an introduction to the transparency policy, including an overview of its purpose. It will also cover publishing items and information both before and after a review, explaining what is shared or not shared, as well as which units within the corporation are responsible for executing transparency-related tasks. Finally, we will discuss exceptions to the transparency policy and what circumstances may lead to changes in the policy's implementation. The purpose of the transparency policy is twofold. First, we wish to ensure privacy protection in grant reviews. This includes the different actors within grant application review, such as applications, peer reviewers, or staff. For example, we would never link a score of an application to a specific peer or staff reviewer. Second, we wish to preserve a fair and open grant-making process. This includes making grant review information available to the public, as well as full disclosure to the actors involved of what information will be sought from applicants and shared with the public. This transparency policy does not apply to every grant made by the corporation. It governs the competitive grant reviews or cooperative agreements of new applications or recompeting applications, which involve external peer review and staff review. The corporation has other awarding instruments which do not fall under the transparency policy. They include continuations, non-competitive grants, VISTA cost share, or NCCC sponsor agreements. For the competitive grant reviews falling under this policy, there are two types of information published. The first is pre-competition information. This is information for applicants used in planning applications, including what grants will be made, when they will be competed, and what each one is looking for. The second is post-award information. After awarding is complete, CNCS will publish a transparency package detailing what took place in a grant competition. It includes information from the applicants, as well as information regarding how the corporation evaluated applicants. Different transparency information is published at different times throughout the year. A forecast of grant competitions, as well as general descriptions of CNCS's review processes, are published by the Office of Grants Policy and Operations annually and amended as needed. Selection criteria used to make awards is published in each Notice of Funding Opportunity or Notice of Funding Availability. This is information determined by the program office, which owns a particular competition. A transparency package of post-award information is published 90 days or sooner following award completion. This is done through coordinated efforts of OGPO and the program office. You can find published items at the CNCS's Open Government webpage. As mentioned, there are many units which provide critical roles in executing transparency policy. These roles include running e-grants reports to pull data, reviewing information, and actually posting it to the corporation's website. Just as the transparency policy specifies information that will be published, there is specific information that will not be published. This includes any information that could provide a threat to an individual's privacy, pre-decision or deliberative documents, and information determined to be harmful to future grant competitions held by the corporation. Specific review materials that will not be published include staff review forms, verbatim comments by external peer reviewers or staff reviewers, ratings and rankings given to applications or to specific categories of an application, and non-compliant applicants who do not meet requirements to be peer or staff reviewed. As always, there are exceptions to when circumstances may lead to changes in this policy's implementation for a particular competition. They include the corporation publishing additional information or documents should the circumstances merit, and the corporation may extend timelines for publishing items according to the availability of resources. This orientation is meant to provide an introduction to transparency policy and is not exhaustive. At any time, you can reach several people if you have questions. Please contact any of the people on this slide. Amy Borgstrom is an Associate Director for Policy. Adam Sinelli is a Grant Review Specialist with the Office of Grants Policy and Operations. And Bianca Garibaldi is the Director of Office of Grants Policies and Operations. Thank you for your attention to this new policy.